The Steel City Codefest is a civic software app development competition that brings together technologists with skills like coding and design to build software apps for nonprofit and government. The teams here today are from all across the region. We have professionals, we have students from multiple universities, and they're working on 9 different challenges that have been brought forth from different organizations in the community. The event is put on through all of the volunteer hours of many different partner organizations. So we work with for-profits, nonprofits, and the city to make this event happen. And without their assistance, this wouldn't be possible.
I'm one of several City of Pittsburgh employees who was on the planning committee for the Steel City Codefest. In addition to our participation there was a City of Pittsburgh challenge this year, which came out of our Department of Parks and Recreation. It's a pretty exciting application. I've seen the work of some of the teams that have participated. Some really great results, I think, have come out of their work over the last 48 hours. We're excited to see how they do in judging, and we're really hoping to work with one of those teams in order to really put this app into action and use it in the service of the citizens of Pittsburgh.
We both participated in Codefest last year. We won it last year. It was really rewarding and fun to do a project from inception to completion, and actually see it live out in the wild, and people getting benefit from it. So this kind of project was fun for us again, just because it's a project that can have impact across many different people.
The project we chose was City Parks, which is a City of Pittsburgh initiative to deliver food to youth and seniors. So in the summer they have this really cool project where you can get free food if you come by some of the city venues.
We have been participating since last 2 years, so it's like fun, like learning new things. So you get to learn a lot of things. 3 years ago when we started participating in this event, we did not know any idea on what mobile development is. Today we are proud to say that we know a lot. So it is a learning experience, not about winning, but it's a very good learning experience.
2015 is the 3rd annual Steel City Codefest, and the motto this year is that it doesn't end on Sunday. I think that that's a really important thing to keep in mind with this event, and I think because of the fantastic planning that went into this event, as well as some generous support from our local foundations, we're really hoping that a lot of these teams will continue to work with the challenge organizations in order to build these applications that they've done so much on this weekend into applications that are truly sustainable and can help these organizations to better do their business.
I'm working on the police blotter project. The City of Pittsburgh has online PDFs and now the comment-separated files, and what we do is create a map of incidents from the previous day, give the community access to some information about their area. It's been a project that I've been working on since April of last year, and we're hoping that we can get a little bit more information from the city in a more machine-readable format.
Here I'm presenting Fiscal Focus Pittsburgh, which is our budget visualization tool with the City of Pittsburgh that we launched earlier in February. This was done citywide through all 3 branches of the city government in combination with the mayor's office and city council.
We're both coordinating Map Time, which is a local chapter, a national organization that's about teaching the basics of digital mapping and open source mapping tools to anyone who's interested.
The idea is to get citizens to start mapping their own interests with the tools available with the open source community.
Things like music history tend to fall through the gaps because people see them as frivolous and non-historic. And I really want to work on changing that. So this is a place for not only research, but for memory gathering.
It's a network unto itself. It operates without the internet, but one of the benefits is that it can deliver internet access to a wider area than just like a hotspot in a coffee shop. So what ends up happening is you can put up these pieces of equipment that we have here today, and you can turn an entire business district into a wireless hotspot using bandwidth donated from businesses and residents on that street. So it's no cost to the municipality really, it's all excess bandwidth that's donated out into the public.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Wilhelm. I'm with the Urban Redevelopment Authority. I want to thank you all for being here for CodeFest 3.0. Give yourselves a round of applause. I think we've had a pretty successful weekend, if I do say so myself. So we're going to have the 6 finalists present. These are the top teams chosen out of 19 teams that participated. And we're going to go in the following order for the teams to know, and for all of you to know who are voting. Afterward, the ticket that you have, you can stick into one of our lovely cans that we will place up here in the same order that they presented, so you can remember that. And they will win an award at the end, the team that is the People's Choice. So the order we're going to have is Team 15, Rebuilding Together, Team 6, Food Rescue, Team 20, also Food Rescue, Team 2, Economic Development South, Team 14, Food Rescue, and Team 16, Economic Development South. So with that, our first team, please, Team 15.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Robert Collini, and this is Matt Sipperly and Amy DePalma, and we're here to demonstrate the collaboration that we've made with Rebuilding Together Pittsburgh. Rebuilding Together Pittsburgh came to CodeFest with a problem with paperwork. As part of the process of bringing volunteers to sites to help rebuild and renovate homes, the volunteers have to go through a straightforward but irritating waiver process. They have to fill out some contact information. They have to sign a form, and that allows them to start working on the project. But it's a really irritating thing to have to do if it's a 20-degree March Saturday morning or a minus 15-degree February morning. We built an app that allows volunteers ahead of time, either through a tablet like this or a desktop, laptop, or smartphone, to begin filling out the information ahead of time. We can store that information for them, and then once they get to the site, instead of having to fill out this form by paper or even on the tablet, they can just review their information, look over the legal document, and just sign it right there. Right now, Amy is representing a volunteer who's filling this out ahead of time. As you can see, it takes a little while, and that's definitely a sort of thing that you want to do ahead of time and not have to do on site. Beyond just the simple contact information, the for-profit or the not-for-profit also wanted to have a few other pieces of information, such as different skills that a volunteer can bring to the table. So beyond just having the contact information, they can easily make a search of, we need plumbing for this project. Who has worked with us in the past that has plumbing skills? Once, as I said, once a volunteer has pre-registered and comes to the project, the employee with Rebuilding Together can present them with that information. They can review it, sign it, and then it easily will move. You can easily pass this tablet on to the next person. They can sign in, and the process continues very speedily. And right now, Amy is showing some of the. Go ahead. Admin. Showing some of the features that are available to the employees themselves. One of the features was that they requested was to be able to keep track of the number of hours that a given volunteer commits on a particular day. So it defaults to the current day. They see who has signed the waiver form that day. They can assign hours as needed, and that's all conveniently stored. The other major feature that they wanted was the ability to export that information that we store in the database for a few different reasons. They have their own storage system that they'd want to be able to integrate with this, And most importantly, they use mailing services like MailChimp to distribute further information, keeping people in the loop, keeping people aware of donation drives and that sort of thing. So this app allows them to select the field out of the fields that volunteers were using fields that they were using to collect the exact ones they needed and then have them in an easy readable format or easily transportable format. Okay. The advantages of a system like this are beyond just the exact form we showed you. All of that information about what the contents of the form are and its shape and size are all stored dynamically on the database. It's building it at compile time instead of being put together and hard-coded. One of the next steps that we'd like to make with an app like this is allow a administrator to easily change the content, the size, and the shape of the form to suit their specific needs. This goes beyond something like Rebuilding Pittsburgh. Many other organizations could definitely benefit from having this sort of paperwork removed from their operations. This is a public-facing website.
Yeah, I mean, this is, for all intents and purposes, this is ready to go.
I mean, we won't say that there aren't any bugs or anything from a 24-hour code jam there, but of all the features that they were interested in and that we set as a 24-hour goal for ourselves, we've accomplished. There's more that we want to collaborate on. We want to continue working on it, but we're very proud of what we've put together. We felt that it was something that fit into our existing skill sets. It was something that its goals were very concrete and straightforward, and something we felt we could ship something that was feature complete and that we really were proud of within 24 hours. We didn't use any proprietary software to put this together. It's just it's a MySQL database, lots of PHP programming, a few open source JavaScript things for the design. Thank you.
Okay, I think coming up next is team number 6.
Hi everyone, my name is Rob Schultz. This is what's left of Team 6 right now, and we're here to talk to you about why we spent our weekend volunteering to help take another step forward in solving the problem of food waste. So food waste is a global problem, and it's been a hot button international topic for quite some time. In 1974, when the World Food Conference met, they set a goal to reduce food waste by 50% in the next decade. Didn't happen. The United Nations Food and Agriculture Organization estimate that there's 1.3 billion tons of food waste that could go otherwise to service the 868 million people that could actually need it. So let's dive in and look at it on a national level. In the US, there's 40% of food is wasted, which means that it's the #1 material that ends up in landfills and incinerators, above plastic, paper, anything else. And what I find disconcerting about that is 1 in 6 Americans face hunger. And as a parent, what's even more of an issue to me is 1 in 4 children live in food insecure homes, which doesn't mean that they're starving, but it does mean that they are not sure of where that next meal comes from. So to solve a big problem like this, you got to approach it locally, and that's what the folks at 412 Food Rescue are doing. They've made it their mission to solve the health, economical, and environmental effects that food waste has in our very own community. So they're a small team with one giant lime green box truck, but what they need are volunteers with vehicles that can mobilize and help facilitate that transportation of food from donors to recipient partners. And Pittsburgh's a good place for that because 1 in 4 of you guys volunteer. And when you do volunteer, you volunteer 40 to 50 hours a year. So 412 Food Rescue believes that there's an app for that. Our app, Food Rescue, an iOS and Android app that helps facilitate that coordination between the 412 Food Rescue administrators, the donors, the recipients, and the drivers. So let's take a look at the app. On this app here, you're going to see the login screen that appears to a user. So first, let's talk about the registration. When a user registers and creates an account, what we want to present you with was some of that statistical information that indicates how big of a problem food waste is. Because candidly, at the beginning, I didn't know that it was a global issue. So we want to present them with some statistics that explain the problem, but also identify what each of the rules are and how they play their part in reducing food waste. So let's go back and log in as the driver. So when you log in as the driver, what you see is a screen of pending donations, and they're going to be sorted by distance. So as Chachi's logging in here, we only have one right now, but believe me, it works. We've just been demoing this a good bit. There we go. All right, so you see your list of donations. And what you see is a map that has the waypoints for where you're at, where the donor is, and then where the recipient is. So when you scroll down, you're going to see the addresses of each of those locations, and you want to identify if this is the right volunteering opportunity for you. So let's accept that. We're going to confirm that, yep, this is the right opportunity. And so on this other device here, what we have is the donor. So this is all live. We built this workflow. The donor then sees that there's a person that is en route to their location. So let's say Chachi's driven there. He's here. He indicates that now. Then what you see is on the other app that it now indicates that he's here. So that person knows to go look for the driver. Once they find the driver, they load the car, and then they bring up this screen that presents a QR code. So we initiate a handshake by putting on the QR code reader on the driver screen. We scan it. Done. Now what it indicates is it tells the recipient on the other phone here that the driver's en route to their location. So when the driver's en route to their location, same process. The driver gets there, they unload the car, they tell the recipient that they're here, you see the screen refresh, they scan it, and that completes the transaction. So what we wanted to do was foster that interactivity between the different users, because it's more than applications, about people connecting with the community and doing these things. Now, we've built this application so that the main workflow is here. There's a couple features that we want to build on top of this, but again, we really wanted to make sure that the meat was there so that this thing works. And it has scalability beyond what's going on in Pittsburgh, because this is a global issue. We want to ensure that this can be used in any state. And also, we were talking to a couple people, and they indicated that this is a good idea beyond food problems. I mean, this could be for clothing or any other kind of volunteer workflow kind of process. You know, the QR code or the scanning piece is kind of becoming relevant in our everyday lives. Like, we were just at Starbucks before this, and you scan your device. So we thought that was a kind of an interesting transaction or handshake. And plus, we wanted to try something that we'd never done before. Yeah, so right now the way it's set up is it's a self-select thing. So I'm a volunteer, I have a couple minutes, I want to get into that. But what we were talking about is some future features about maybe having favorite drivers. So I've established a relationship with Costco, it's on my way home. You know, every Tuesday I want to go pick these things up. So we want to add that in so that there are push notifications that says, hey, there's some produce that, you know, is available for you. But all the push notifications and the architecture for that's established already. I think that this is something that when we took it on, we wanted a really tough technical challenge, which is why we chose this application. But the more we learned about food waste and the expansive nature of the problem, this is just something that we want to pursue. So even if we didn't win this, this is something that we want to be doing afterwards.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, that was team number 6, so remember team number 6. Next up is team number 20. Team number 20. Yeah, devices? Okay.
All right, so we also did food rescue. One of the things that we did that was, we realized this was a very large app. We saw the potential, not just for Pittsburgh, but for other areas. So we wanted to focus primarily on the user, knowing that there would be 3 different types of users, which I know you can't see, but we drew it out here, where we have vendors, or we have donors, we have admins, and then we have heroes. And each one's a different type of user. For the initial release, we planned out 3 phases, or 3 releases. For the initial one, we were focusing on mainly the heroes, where I'm picking up food, and I'm delivering it to a destination. So we wanted to really focus on the user experience around that, and make it one where it was sticky, where no one, you wouldn't just open it and then forget about the app. So that's where we started developing different parts of it. Here we have what we we created a very rapid prototype, just demoing screens, demoing kinetics of it, and then we gathered user feedback. Everyone, there's a few people in the audience we were gathering it from, anyone we could get our hands on, and then also 412 Rescue. So once you sign in, you're presented with tiles. These tiles then allow you to see what is within your radius. So when I'm setting this up, I can specify a radius, and that provides me a way to say, no, that's too far out of my area, I don't want to do that, and it's almost like a challenge I might accept. Then it goes into leaderboards and things like that. One of the things we also realized from talking to different people was that not just by, I don't want to see things by the time, but also by the general area or geographical location. And I'm going to hand things over to George now to actually show the working app.
Okay, so this is an application actually installed, a native Android application. It's also deployable to iOS as well. So this is our food rescue app that you recognize. I'm going to go ahead and skip the sign in. You can see the menu here. We have deliveries. So this is what Scott was talking about. These are our tiles. And one of the biggest things we wanted to show is there's a sense of urgency here. This delivery expires in 15 minutes. There's a big tub of mac and cheese that it's going to get funky in a little bit. So you've got to get there and get it to the to the food bank. These are all the various opportunities. They're actually sorted by time and urgency as opposed to distance to you. Although we obviously indicate distance from my location. So clicking on one of these drills down into the details of this particular opportunity and food rescue. So as you can see, this is just some more finite details. So if you need the contact information for either the donor or the recipient, you have it there. You can see it's well within your radius that you've set up in your preferences. And then when you're ready to accept this challenge, it's accepted. So also available to you, you can see your delivery history, so you can see how I've seen this donor several times. I've seen this recipient several times. The leaderboard is kind of neat. This is something that could be set up either globally or within an organization of your company. If you volunteer, you can set up with your friends. And what's cool is there's a point system that we have envisioned and will work with Food Rescue to come up with. But you can see the details that Mitch has rescued 200 pounds this week, but he's actually trending down. And Dewey over here has only rescued 140 pounds this week, but he's trending up. He's had a better week than last week. All right, and so preferences, this is where you can actually set up all of your information, your phone number, whether or not you want to receive push notifications, email notifications, etc.
And this is all, there's an admin UI for Food Rescue to log into through a desktop that allows them to approve or decline any of their users. That way they can control how they do it, and they can talk on the phone with them prior to allowing them, sending them out on deliveries or anything of that nature.
Yeah, we incorporated two very important parts of the requirement. Number one, to get people to the food quickly because it's perishable. We don't want to waste it. And second is gamification. We want to make it fun and a little competitive. And I think that we succeeded in making it into a game. So you're in a competition with other heroes getting food to people who really need it.
So actually what we tried to tackle the requirement is actually we developed a mock-up in the beginning. So we actually get them close to where we're at, where we're heading to. And actually the mock-up is quite close to what we have developed, but it helped us in collecting requirements that actually helped them to envision the system on a different scale and propose some requirements. And actually that helped us in prioritizing the requirements into different phases and pick the most important ones and pull them into our development and schedule the rest for the next releases.
In addition, we talked about this rating system could be used not just to compete with your friends or your coworkers, but also it could prioritize when if you get a push notification that there's a delivery available, maybe that goes to the donor's or the recipient's favorite driver first. they get first crack at it because, they don't steal the hamburgers or they don't, they're always on time. They always say they deliver when they're going to deliver.
Yes, and actually, just to add one point, a main factor in our development was the scalability. So we were designing for scalability, and part of this is that we have used one of the platform independent software mechanism, which is Ionic, that actually helped us in developing application for Android, for iPhones, and for many different platforms. So although they're heading to iPhone now, but we're actually designing for future.
If you're one of the 8 Windows phone users, it'll run on yours too.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Okay, that was Team 20. Team 20. Coming up next is Team 2. Team 2 can come on up. Remember that everybody in the crowd, the judges have a really tough time, have a hard road ahead of them trying to pick a winner, but you guys are all part of this too. You're helping to choose the winner of the coveted Codefest trophy. So take good notes and remember the team numbers.
Hi, I'm Jazz. I was in charge of user experience for our project. This is Zach. He worked on the front end for the web admin panel. And this is Ryan, and he worked on the mobile development. So we chose a challenge from EDS, and their challenge had to do with using volunteers or citizen scientists to collect data for the Sawmill Run watershed area, which is about 22 square miles. So the thought was that volunteers can take pictures of maybe damage they see, water issues, overflow, and those images would be sent with a location tag and a description of the problem to the database. So we were a small team of 3 people, and we had to kind of prioritize what we worked on. So we focused on the mobile application that the user would use to send data, and the admin panel that EDS would use to see the reports that they get. We didn't have any real data from them at this point, but we talked with our contact about features that they would want, like I said, pictures, location, description of the problem. So we don't have a back end done yet, but it would be easy for us to implement that if we had more time. So the first thing we're going to demo for you is the mobile application for users. It was really important to us that this be a smooth user experience and that it also be really quick. Because when volunteers are out, they don't want to fill in a bunch of form inputs, manually typing things, adding things. So we tried to make the process as smooth as possible, as quick as possible. How can we get the points that we need saved to the database?
All right. I made a video because, to be honest, I didn't know I'd be able to bring my phone and didn't have the phone I wanted to use. So the first thing you're going to see is the onboarding process. One thing we didn't initially plan for, don't really know why, was identifying information about the submitter. So that was something that we took as feedback. Now you can see they're actually in the app. We have their information stored. We're using Google Maps. The ping goes to where the GPS thinks they are, and then they're dropped. You see me giving the thumbs up. And here now is where you actually go ahead and submit the incident report, little image preview at the top, some description text, and a save button. The whole thing's very simple, but it's very extensible. I started some work on submitted things in other areas with the app. And the not too distant future, it's all native Android. I'm not real big into the web browser stuff, but an iOS app is something that I think would be necessary and also not extremely difficult.
So this is sort of a portion of creating the data. So we realized that in addition to that, we also need a way to view all of the data. So here you can see our admin console. So this is just a list of all of the posted reports. Like Jasmine said, we don't currently have a backend, and this is all
dummy data that we've created, but we could easily switch out the adapter that we're using to grab this dummy data to a web API once we create it. And so everything that we're seeing here it's data that we've created, but it also is the same way that real data would be treated. So we can sort our users by their name and also the type of report that we have. In addition to that, we can view an image of the report with a location. Maybe we need to modify the tag or description or anything like that. So maybe post something that's not relevant. We have the ability to delete. In addition to that, we have a map view with a view of all of the different reports that are posted. Maybe there's a certain area that has a high concentration of reports, so this would be a good way to kind of visualize that data and maybe take action on that. And then because of our user testing that we had, we realized that we need some sort of user object because it's important to know who is making these reports and where they're coming from, so we can see what kind of volunteers we have. So we created a view for all of our different user information.
All right.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, that was team number 2. Next up is team...
Hi, everyone. Okay, so like Team 6 and 20, we also decided to do the 412 Food Rescue app. So I'm sure you guys already know, but I'm still going to provide some initial context. The social problem that 412 Food Rescue is trying to solve is, in fact, trying to save perishable food, right? And something that Leah said in the pitch event was the fact that there are no incentives in Pennsylvania to try to save this food. So how are they doing this currently? They have one big truck and a handful of volunteers. A really good video that Giselle actually showed me at the pitch event was the fact that she saved 3,000 pounds of sweet potatoes at Costco simply because the expiration date was printed upside down. So what's the business problem that 412 Food Rescue is trying to solve? They are trying to scale their operations so that they can have more people who are willing to pick up food that is willing to be donated, and actually getting more and more drivers to actually be willing to pick up the food. So what are we doing to try to help solve that? So we decided to build a web app, and the most important thing that Leah said for us to build was in fact connecting the driver, right, someone who's willing to pick up the food, with people who actually have food to give. So we're going to start with Jeff, who's actually he's playing the role of the donor who actually has food to give. And one example is the East End Food Co-op.
Okay, so all of the donors are already registered in the system with 412 Food Rescue, so you can assume they already have an account. So here we can pretend that I am the East End Food Co-op. And so this will be the donation form. So I'll have the pickup location pre-filled. I'll have contact phone number. There's a couple options about, can the driver contact me? Do we need a truck or will a car suffice for this stuff? Then the donor can schedule, the pickup time whenever it's convenient. They can enter in whatever items it might be. So here we have 5 crates of fruit. Sure, that works. And then any instructions that they might want to give to the driver. So once they fill out this form, they click the submit button, and they get a message, thank you, your donation has been accepted.
Okay, well, I'm playing the role of an admin. So when these donations are being filed, it's then important to figure out what is the best drop-off location to send this food to, because some food is raw and needs to be cooked, and some is already prepared and needs to go to a place that can distribute it right away. So we created an admin console here that will show the jobs prioritized by when they have been submitted. And so we see Jeff's job showing up here as being submitted, East End Food Co-op here, and upon looking at the map, we get some basic, or the page, we get some basic information, but most importantly, we can choose a drop-off location,
and then update the record. At this point, it has gone into the queue.
And I just received a text message from 412 Food Rescue. So I'm the driver in this case. So here we go, alert, new food pickup request. So I can click this little link, and it takes me to a view of this particular request. So this is my mission. It tells me who it's being donated by, where it's to be delivered. And I can go and click a link, and it'll take me right to my Google Maps app on my phone with directions, so I can look and say, okay, how far is this? Is this something I really want to do? And if so, I can click, I'll do it. At which point, they say thanks, and I'm on my way at this point to go pick up that food.
Meanwhile, back at the home office, the admin can see, just on a simple refresh, that in real time, the job has been accepted, and we know that somebody is out there going to get the food.
Once I finish and I drop it off, then I'll click, I'm done, at which point I'm finished. I've dropped the food off at the drop-off location.
Again, in real time, the administration page will show that a East End Food Co-op delivery has been completed, and they know that the food has arrived safely where it belongs.
If you're a driver, you actually have a profile page, which let me pull up here. It might take me just a second. But on this page, you can turn yourself active or inactive. And if you're active, you will receive notifications. Right now, we are just spamming all active drivers. But theoretically, we could do some matchmaking if we wanted to. We really focused on having an actual flow. We have donors, we have admins, we have drivers. They're all in our system. The back end's there. It's on the Google App Engine, so it's very scalable. It's using their big table data store for everything. And so we focused on getting the flow in place. And our design at the moment, it definitely can use some work. That was basically our priority, was to get the actual systems in place, the flow, and do design later down the road. Put that design on top, basically.
All the records of deliveries and drop-offs are stored, and so we would be able to easily calculate like how many pounds of food have been saved, or how many donors that are active, how often they're active, and also if we have a healthy ecosystem of volunteers helping make the whole process possible.
How many drop-offs a driver has made, and they're given assistance.
Right.
Yep. All this data is stored.
One way we wanted to entice people is with simplicity. I mean, the app couldn't be easier. It works on any phone, be it by using text messages instead of just direct push notifications. Really, people with simple phones, it's trying to mirror as much as possible their existing process, but just adding a technological upgrade to the whole process.
Thanks, guys. All right, that was Team 14. We're down to our final team. Last but not least is Team 16. Team 16, come on up. Everybody start thinking about the presentations you've seen so far, so you have your vote ready for the coveted Steel City Codefest trophy. And judges, you should be doing the same for the actual first and second place judges' prizes. Do you need the laptop? I don't think so. Okay, all right.
Hey everyone, we are Team 16. My name is Matthew Hyduk.
My name is Derek Ward. Timothy Dotson.
Casey Corey.
We also chose the Economic Development South project. We chose this project because it seemed challenging yet feasible. So when Lisa told us about her request, she told us she had a volunteer base already that was interested in using this application. So because of that, we decided to go with a dedicated iOS application. So right here you can see the summary screen. This tells users a little bit about the Economic Development South initiative and what they're striving towards. Go back to the home screen there. Okay. So this is the home screen. Users have the option to generate a report, check out about the company, or view contact information. So basically, volunteers are going to be going out in a 21 square mile area and looking for pollution or abnormal anomalies in the creek that shouldn't be there.
or around the area. So a volunteer would, go out with their application. They see something that should not be there, and they can go ahead and generate a report. So on this screen, the user can pick between a list of predetermined issues. So this list was provided to us by Lisa, and and we realized that there could be issues that aren't always going to fit the criteria, so we have an other option. So once a user decides what they want, we'll go with other here, and you can go ahead and continue. They'll be prompted with a screen where they can add information about what they're seeing. So we chose other, so we'll say something that's not there. Okay, flooding, good. And then once the user is satisfied, they can hit continue. And this is the screen where they have the option to add a photo. So they can either choose an existing photo, take a photo, or choose to not have an image at all. So, okay, great. And that, you guys all look pretty good, so we're not gonna report you guys. That looks better. There we go. Okay, so once the user is satisfied with their image, they can go ahead and click continue. And this is the screen that will calculate the user's geolocation. So this can be added onto the report so that the user doesn't have to worry about adding address information. So, okay, I guess you hit find my location, and as you can see, it zoomed in to our location where we're at right now. That will work with both Wi-Fi and GSM. So, the next page is personal information. We understand that Lisa would like the information on people who are reporting, but we also understand that some people would like to remain anonymous. So this gives some people the option, if they don't want to give up personal information, that they don't have to. So we'll say yes, because Lisa's a cool, nice lady. So here a user can enter their first name, last name, phone number, and zip code, personal zip code. So this is just for data purposes, tracking who's volunteering and how much they're doing. So all of this information is optional, none of it is mandatory. Although users are encouraged to provide information, they don't have to. Okay, so on this page, users can get a direct link to the company website, phone number, email, and actually you can go right to their Facebook or Twitter if you want to go, check out the Twitter. So, yeah, that's pretty much everything that the user would need. We do have a web front end and a working database. Do you have your computer? Yeah, I don't think we have time to show you guys that right now. Casey and I primarily focused on iOS development while Derek and Tim were doing the web portal.
So currently right now with the schema of the database, you can store, I had image name as one of the columns, but that would be the description. You can store images there as well, and we currently do have some images there, not from the submission here, but dummy information that I pushed from it from another web front end that I created. But we would also store the location, the zip code of the person, and if they offered the personal information, their first name and last name. And then on the administrative side, we would generate some reports that would show you, like, for instance, within a date range, which issues were skyrocketing, like there was more reports of flooding, more reports of file orders. You can sort it by maybe a location. We would also have an option to generate a weekly or monthly report that you would like to receive via email. But right now with the database, it's holding images and other text forms of information.
From what we understood from talking to the customer, the volunteers that are going to be using this application are already they're already like ready to do it. They're ready to volunteer, and they've been waiting for a system to become available. So it's not going to be. I mean, it wasn't developed for people randomly on the street that were wanting to clean up the creek. Why this challenge? Well, we thought it was something that was, like, as I said earlier, feasible yet challenging. So it wasn't something that we thought was too easy. There was also no system or data in place yet. So we thought that gave us the option to, be creative and go in any direction with it. So, yeah.
Plus, these guys are aware, and I'm from Maumee, and earlier this year we had a problem with Microsystem, or I forget the name of it. So
sustainability is important. So is the ecosystem. So we see that was a very important driver for us to be a part of something that will help people in these areas.
My name is Matt Zieger with the Forbes Funds. I want to give you guys a little bit of context. So as you take a seat, I want to thank a couple folks, give you a little context of what's going to happen now, and also tell you a little bit about what happened from last time. I think it's really important to, again, keep reiterating this doesn't end today, that there's a rest of the world that goes on outside of this weekend and this day, and that we are going to be with you and with these nonprofits for a while as we invest in making these things come to completion. So we wanted to highlight the investments that we made last year and the impacts that those have had. So the Forbes Funds has 30 years of experience in building the capacity of nonprofits. We've invested in countless organizations, thousands of organizations in Pittsburgh to build their capacity, and you are a huge part of that this year and in the work that we do. So one, I want to thank you for giving your time. Two, I want to celebrate a couple folks that have not gotten celebrated very much. Everybody in the blue shirts that spent countless hours in planning, please stand up. These kind of events, take a heck of a lot of hard work over many, many, many months of planning, and particularly want to celebrate those folks in the blue shirts. But really, the Urban Redevelopment Authority's leadership and helping to bring this to fruition, helping to organize sponsors, helping to really maximize the potential of this weekend is a heck of a lot of work and deserves a lot of praise. So particularly for the URA, I want to give them also a round of applause. Also, I want to highlight the Carnegie Library for being such a wonderful host, and really, I think, wait. So embodying this vision, it's more than just being a host. I think it's important to highlight. These guys, they said, there's a bigger story here. We can use the library system as an asset to do technical-based skill development, engaging youth in this process, engaging broader parts of the community in this whole hackathon Codefest kind of concept. So they've opened up their books, opened up their organization, opened up their hearts to this whole process and idea, and really done an incredible job in holding us as not only a host of this organization, but really in the mission of this entire process. So thank you for all that work and all the time that you put into this. So again, this doesn't just end on Sunday. I think, again, I want to keep reiterating that as the Forbes Funds, we have partnered with not only our own funding and partners that we have, but also the Bank of New York Mellon Foundation to invest in your work, invest in these concepts that you've created over this short period of time. And you look at the impacts that it's had, and just this little tiny bit of time, what you've been able to do is profound. It's really powerful. Saving food, saving countless lives potentially by providing food to those that are hungry, and making these matches, bringing volunteers, doing environmental remediation, engaging and empowering thousands and thousands of people in the active service in their community. That's powerful. I think we have to be really proud of that you have done some amazing work this weekend, and we believe in that potential to really affect this community more than just a weekend. So we're putting our money where our mouth is on that for the second year in a row, and we're actually establishing a grant fund for you and the work that you've done this weekend to carry these things through to completion. And so we'll spend a year alongside of you as you apply through this fund with your nonprofit partners. Those that are awarded funding will be able to actually be compensated to bring these things through to completion. So we did that last year, and we want to highlight the incredible work that's gone on throughout this year and the things that started on this weekend 1 year ago, just how much they've really gone on and changed these organizations and the people they touch. So I want to call up each of those 4 organizations in a row, but first we're going to start with Planned Parenthood. I'll walk through who's going to give a little presentation, and then we'll just let them take it from there. So we're going to have Planned Parenthood come up. Pittsburgh Cares will be next. Salvation Army will be right after that, and then the City of Pittsburgh will also give a little presentation on that. So turn it over to you guys.
Hi, so our team, Apps and Nat, last year created a application for Planned Parenthood, and we've been working very closely with our representative, Katie here, who will tell you more about her role. And we're going to show you a demo of the finished product along with some of the cards and such that we've been handing out to our peer counselors. So hopefully you'll enjoy this. It's a very easy app, and that was kind of the whole point of it. So
Hi, everybody. So, as Leah said, the app that AppsNet developed for us is to power a peer-staffed, youth-friendly sexual health text line, and I'll explain what that is. So we have a group of peer educators, it's called Peer Helpers, in 7 schools. We have 250 kids in this program. And in the past, the way they've done peer education around sexual health is through a resource room model. So there's a room in the school where other students can come and ask questions, get resources, and so on. So this worked pretty well for a long time, is my understanding. But in recent years, we've noticed that kids really weren't coming to the room as much, which, if you think about it, I think is pretty intuitive to understand why. Also, space in a lot of schools made it hard to have a resource room. So we were looking for an opportunity for these kids to do peer education. Across the country, there have been sexual health text lines that have been cropping up, which are confidential hotlines that you can write into via text to get answers to your questions. And so we thought, what better teaching tool for our kids than for them to be able to staff a text line like this? But there was no software out there that we could find that would allow us to have oversight over all the questions that were coming in and all the answers that were going out. And also something that would look and feel good to them, that they would want to use. They have to want to use this. So the app that AppsNet has created, which is awesome. By the way, we just launched our pilot this past week, and we've gotten several questions in, and they've been really good. Our kids are doing a wonderful job answering them. The app itself, when the texts come in, they go into a staff inbox that we look at. From that inbox, we approve those texts if they're good, if they are okay for the kids to answer. If they're not, we can approve them ourselves, or we can block them or delete them, whatever. And then from that queue, the students can suggest answers, they can comment on other people's answers, they can vote for the best answer. And then all of those suggested answers come back into our inbox where we can approve to be sent out.
So what we're going to do is we're actually going to demo the app for you. Just so you know, right now it is an Android app natively coded. Our backend is Django Python. We're going to be changing that because they want to expand to iOS. So we want to create one of those build once, deploy several times type scenarios. So, but for now, this is an Android. So the iOS icon is the same icon that you saw on that slide. This actual interface here is larger than what the students are using. Okay. So a student, well, a staffer signs in. And they get a status type window. As you can see, we made this fun. This is all actual real interactive buttons. You can look at each one. If I just logged on, so it says 0 hours. It'll tell you how many hours. It'll show you X amounts of suns, etc. We tried to make this app fun. We wanted it to feel like something a teenager wouldn't mind playing with or looking at, because our peer counselors are teenagers. And so we wanted it to be colorful, easy to interact with. So this is what a peer counselor sees when they look at their queue. They see the questions that have come in. They see whether there are any answers on that question. They can touch a question and submit an answer for it. Okay, so they submit an answer. Now a staffer can look at their answer approval queue and see that an answer has appeared below the question. They can then make a decision as to whether or not to accept that answer. So if for some reason that answer is full of jargon that kids use, or has some words that perhaps Planned Parenthood doesn't want to send out as a reply,
right? They can decline it and include a rejection comment, something like, please clean up the language. Right. Now, the way that things come in is a simple text interface. So Katie is going to...
Should I do it under here?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I'm asking, what is blue waffle? Have any of you heard of this? It's an STD, a fake STD. If you want to see some really gross pictures, go ahead online. What is blue waffle? Not yet. Oh, there we go.
Okay. And then
So now this message comes back. Thanks for texting IOTAs. You'll get an answer back within 24 hours for an emergency, call 911.
And part of the reason that we implemented this kind of staff in the middle thing, so you'll see this list of questions. These are questions that the staff has not yet approved. Only the staffers see it. And the reason this was implemented this way was because there is a possibility of a teenager sending something that is really crucial and that the teen counselor shouldn't deal with, such as rape or any other kind of negative experience that you would want to immediately forward them into some kind of emergency care. So the staffer can tag these with particular information, so like relationships, etc. Then they click on the check mark and that's it. Now if I go in as a peer counselor, I can now see that question in my queue. When I approve an answer, so let's go back to this one that they said clean up the language. Okay. When an answer is approved, yes, it should send back a message almost immediately to the person who sent the question, right? So the question here, I sent a few in just to fill in the queue, but I immediately get my response, right? So very simple, very straightforward app. The students don't need to learn a lot of anything. I did a user test with them just a couple months ago, and I was expecting to spend 2 hours with them, and in 10 minutes they had done every task I asked of them, so that was a really huge positive for us.
Thank you.
So transforming the way we do education and teen engagement through something that was created here last year. Next we have Pittsburgh Cares. A team from Pittsburgh Cares, were they here yet? We weren't sure if they were making it. Okay, Salvation Army. Great, come on up.
All right. I am Sarah, and I'm here with Ryan and Josh, and we built an app for the Salvation Army, Emergency Disaster Services of Western Pennsylvania. When there's an emergency disaster, the Salvation Army provides goods and services to the responders as well as the victims. They provide services like food, drinks, clothing, and blankets, as well as support. Now, the Salvation Army is a nonprofit organization. That means that they need to record and report all the goods and services that they provide in order to continue to receive funding. Currently, the way they do this, the volunteers on the scene of an incident must fill out paper forms that look like this. And eventually, they find their way to the administrators who have to enter that data into a spreadsheet like this. Now imagine the opportunities for inaccuracies, estimations, incomplete forms, lost forms, illegible handwriting, not to mention the time it takes to enter this data into a spreadsheet. Last year at Codefest, the Salvation Army Emergency Disaster Services of Western Pennsylvania asked Codefest participants for a better way. And my team had a solution that the Salvation Army approved of and the Forbes funds helped support.
And now Ryan and Josh will walk you through that solution.
So this here is the app that we built. They asked for an iOS application that they could have to take with them in their truck. So the plan is that they will have each truck will have an iPad in the truck, and then from there, if they go out on a report, on a call, they can just start the report. Here you start to input your unit number, and then you can start to input when you leave or when you get dispatched, when you start the route, and then when you're actually on the scene. That's when you get to the scene. I'm not going to go through all of this here, so I'll just go back to a completed report. So one of the things we really wanted to work on was preventing data loss. So what we're doing here is anytime you fill out any sort of form field or anything, you can see it starts to sync, and it's syncing everything via local storage. And eventually, or not eventually, very soon, it will be syncing to the server whenever there's a connection. That's really it for the app. The app is submitting, but we had a bug earlier today, so we have the admin screen. Oh, sorry about that. And the sync button's up here. My very nice sync button that I'm very proud of. So I'm going to jump out to the admin's panel. So once they're logged into the admin panel, be able to search, create summaries, and what was the last thing on that? I forgot.
And also review individual reports.
Right. So as you can see, there's still a whole heck of a lot of test data in here. But I just submitted by unit number Codefest, and I can get in here and start to view the summaries of that particular incident on that day. The app on an iPhone. This was not a requirement, but it was so easy to do that I just put it together and built the app this morning, actually. So
The app as well as the admin site.
yes, yeah.
Next, we're going to have Pittsburgh PGH.st to come up and give a little overview of that from last year. If you've ever had the challenge of remembering when to take your trash out, remembering when to take the recycling out, and that affects a lot of people in the city, and affects illegal dumping, and affects a lot of the way we think about infrastructure in the city. These folks had a great solution to it, and it's been rolled out, and I've been using it at home. It certainly helps our household, so I'm sure it helps a lot of others too. So turn it over to you.
We actually had the pleasure of joining our fellow programmers in another round this year of 24 hours of fun. So I'd like to also round of applause to those that presented here, and also the organizers, because this is a great event. So my name's Quentin Lovix. I go by Q. You ask anyone for Quentin, they won't know who you're talking about. It's David Walker.
Hi.
Met him at the Codefest last year. Show of hands, how many people live in the city of Pittsburgh? Oof. So you know what this thing is. Right here. That little puppy. Yeah, that. Yeah, get that, get that. Yes. This is designed so that everyone in the city can figure out the trash, which everyone usually has like some way of figuring out other than this. They know they're weak, but they'll either look out to see like who's putting their trash out or who's putting out the blue bags for the recycling. I used to remember it by my paycheck every 2 weeks, which week I got paid to take out my recycling. But I mean, the nice thing about it is it made you more neighborly, because you'd have to talk to your neighbors to figure out when you took out your trash. But because of this little event last year, we were able to challenge this with a data-driven solution. You can look at it on your phone, pgh.st. It's live. It's been working
since last year. So if you're actually looking on your phone now, you can see it. It's very dead simple. I mean, that's the whole point of this, dead simple, data-driven. What it does is we've actually were able to work with the data that the city, Laura, gave us, also with the Department of Public Works. The data isn't that complicated, but it's complicated. So we were able to actually work with the house ranges to figure out like which days of the week the recycling is and the trash and all. I'll just do a quick look up here. Where do I live? We actually have partial matching, so you don't have to really do everything as far as like all your houses. That's enough information. Boom. This is where I live. Oh. And tomorrow is my trash and my recycling. So, I mean, this is pretty much a web app. You can use it on your phone, you can use it on your computer. It's made for the residents, city of Pittsburgh, so not everyone has a smartphone. They can just go to their computer. They don't have to like sign up for it. The component also to this is you can sign up for text reminders, like a calendar, shows you your view for the month. So if I want, I could say get reminders, sign up for text messaging or email, or just for holiday reminders. It's free. That's it.
So the judges will be coming back in just a minute. We want to, I guess, can highlight the importance of these things. So it's not just, and you're well aware of this, the scalability of these and the replicatability of these is really, really tight, and that we can actually go and other cities can use these same infrastructure, the same infrastructure that was created. Salvation Army is obviously a national organization, a global presence, and does work in each community in the same way. So what we've seen is they've actually taken this to their national board and talked about how it's relevant in other communities. Okay, great. Oh, great. Okay, well we have PGH Cares actually just pulled in, so we can have them come up and give a little overview of their process as well. All right, come on up, guys.
Hello there, everybody. My name is Mitch, as my colleague George. We're both with Summit Technologies here in Pittsburgh. We came last year and sent a team to Codefest, and we did not actually decide to work on the Pittsburgh Cares project. We worked on a different project, but we were asked by some of our colleagues to help get them off the ground. And now we're actually just about to go live. We're going to be going into full beta testing in about a week. We're just waiting for a password from the production password from the company. Now, Pittsburgh Cares has an interesting problem. They have all of these opportunities for people to volunteer. The problem is connecting people who want to volunteer with the volunteer opportunities. If you wanted to volunteer, where would you go to find out where you could do the things that you enjoy? And we're actually very fortunate because Pittsburgh Cares already has quite a good system. They have an excellent web application, but it's really made for the desktop. It was not really portable to mobile, as I will show you in a moment. Okay, so you can see that's a little hard to operate on the phone. So our charter was to take this, the functionality of this application and rewrite it for a mobile app. We decided to go with a hybrid application, which is one that runs in the browser. Anything that runs a browser can run this new app. And we decided to use some tools such as a Bootstrap, use Angular, and we built out a new front end for them, and I'll show that to you in a moment. So here's brand new Pittsburgh Cares. George, you want to take over?
Sure thing. All right, so it's pretty simple. There's not a whole lot you can do except get started. You can log in and now, so this is the homepage. You can search for opportunities. you select a category. So we can start with animals. I like animals. You can pick a date range, a start and a finish, between two dates rather, not a start and end. And that seems like a fine range. We'll do some downtown Pittsburgh addresses. Within 5 miles is good for me. And there we have. There are some opportunities. Now, as Mitch said, this is actually still test data. You can see none of those have to do anything with animals. I hope not, especially the first. So as soon as we get the production credentials, this is ready to go. You can view some details about this opportunity. And the next step, once we're hooked up with production, is actually to register for this opportunity, this volunteer event.
Right, and you'll see it has detail here about the application, how many volunteers are needed. As we go through and people volunteer, they may only need a certain number of volunteers, so that number will decrement for everybody who signs up. Certain volunteer opportunities require orientation, and you must go through that orientation before. For example, if you want to volunteer at a hospital, there's a mandatory orientation that you must go through. There's another interesting feature here. It tells us what the dates and times that are available here, and it will have here 2 options. This one happens to be express interest as opposed to volunteer. Express interest means you tell the volunteer organization that you're interested, and they'll come back and contact you to make sure that you're suitable for the volunteer opportunity. For example, there are a number of women's crisis centers that are used in this volunteer system, and they pre-screen all the volunteers who come in there. So that's why we say for this particular one, express interest as opposed to sign up. And it's actually a pretty simple application. This is pretty much what it does. And we had pretty good success with it. We were very, very pleased. It's really easy to use. It's nice and chunky so that you can do most of the major features without having to sit there with a magnifying glass and do it. And also, just say the look and feel we took, they actually put it in a Facebook application. So there's a Facebook version of it. If you want to see that, you can log into Facebook, search for Pittsburgh Cares, and you'll see we took the styling from their Facebook application. So that's why it has that look and feel. It incorporates their company colors. And it was a really good experience for me. It was my first mobile project, and we had a great time doing it. And that's why we came back and punished ourselves for 48 hours again. So thanks everybody for attending, and we really appreciate it.
Thanks.
So we're going to turn it over to Code for America to talk a little bit about what's happening with the fellowship program and the impact on the city of the same kind of process. So come on up, guys.
Hi, everyone. My name is Shelley, and I'm one of 3 Code for America Fellows in Pittsburgh this year, working with the city, and I'm here with my teammate, Patrick. And first of all, we're so thankful and thrilled to be a part of this event. The energy and expertise in this library for the last 48 hours has been fantastic, and I am waiting excitedly to see who will take the prizes home. But beyond the prizes, I can't express the appreciation I have for this warm and brilliant community of people who have come together to work on really important problems that are present, really important problems that can improve the lives of people in Pittsburgh. My team currently in our fellowship year is working with the city of Pittsburgh on the problem of procurement, which is the way that the city buys anything from things as small as pencils to things as big as bridges and fire trucks. And we've been spending the last month of February in Pittsburgh talking to both city people and local business owners to understand the ins and outs of purchasing, both how the fire department buys fire axes that are broken, and also understanding how a local vendor in Sharpsburg, Pennsylvania, sells those fire axes to firemen. And my teammate Patrick here will tell you guys how you can stay involved in this community beyond this event.
Hi. So as Shelley just said, we're Code for America. We're a huge part of the civic tech infrastructure. Our organization has two main components. The first being which is the Brigade program. How many people have heard of Open Pittsburgh? Rad. Okay, so Open Pittsburgh is the local brigade here, and they get funding from Code for America. They host meetups twice a month, and they just started a map time chapter up. There's a lot of events. The next one being Thursday. Looking at this great flyer. Everyone seen this? It's awesome. Super punk, which is super cool. But the monthly meeting is next week, 6:30 to 8. Code for America really believes in not just these one-off events, but supporting it throughout the year. So if you had fun this weekend hacking on things that actually have some kind of impact, you can be a part of that community here on a regular basis and keep plugging away. There's some really cool projects taking place right now. There's the Pittsburgh Police Blotter. Has anyone heard of that? So basically releasing, the city has recently released police data on a daily basis in a CSV form, and they're starting to get that in other formats. With the regional data center opening up soon, that's going to be a really important thing, along with a lot of other data sets to populate that database. You could build so many things with open data that's updated on a regular basis, and that's one project that's going on. There's also there's Ask PGH, which is like basically a FAQ for anything you want to know about city services. If anyone's ever gone to the City of Pittsburgh's website, not necessarily the most intuitive, so there's ways around it to actually get some of the answers you need quickly, and so you can see when garbage is being picked up or whatever. There's also some other ones like the Pittsburgh pierogi map, which I'm really excited about because I'm not from Pittsburgh and I like pierogies, and it would be awesome to know where to avoid and where to go. So it's really rad. The other part of our program of Code for America is the fellowship program, and that's what Shelley and I are involved with. Has anyone heard of the fellowship program? Does anyone know about the CFA fellowship? Cool. So not as much. That's great. So if you're really, really into civic tech and you want to give a year of your life away and do some rad stuff, the fellowship is a great opportunity. So basically, fellows apply, cities apply. This year there's 8 cities, and Pittsburgh got one this year, and Peduto chose to focus on procurement. So what that means is Pittsburgh got 3 fellows to come and focus on one issue throughout the year. We're here for the month of February doing user research, trying to figure out, along the process of purchasing where some technical solutions can be applied to speed up the process, and also to see maybe where the process needs to be changed in and of itself without outside of technology. So we're here for a month, and then we're going back to San Francisco to work on our apps, but we'll be back throughout the year about once a month. One of us will be here for about a week to check in, to do user testing, to basically do what was done this weekend, except over a long period, and with the end goal of being something that can be handed over to the city of Pittsburgh to be regularly maintained and, hopefully actually have a lot of impact and open up the purchasing process. Right now we're doing a lot of interviews with city people about the process of purchasing. We have recently started to focus more on the business community. Mayor Peduto has made it explicit that one of the focuses and the reason why he chose procurement was to use this as an economic development kind of engine. There are, a small handful of companies that do business with city government, and Mayor Peduto wanted to change that, so that's one of our goals right now. So if you know any small businesses that would like to or have done or have no idea what business with the government would be like, send them our way. We would love to talk to them just to kind of see, get that input from the outside. So if you have any interest or any questions about either Open Pittsburgh or the fellowship, come talk to us. We love Code for America. We love being here, and just thank you all for bringing us here and making us part of this event. It was great. Thanks so much. And now we're going to have Tom Link from the URA come up and give a few words from their perspective.
Thank you. First, just want to thank everybody, and particularly the participants. I mean, I'm amazed this is the third year we've done this, and I'm always sort of awed by what we experience here, and really it's the credit to so many folks, the volunteers and everybody, the participants themselves, what you come up with in 24 hours, I always find pretty remarkable. So I just want to congratulate all of you for your fantastic work. So I'm Tom Lenk. I'm Director of Innovation and Entrepreneurship for the City of Pittsburgh's Urban Redevelopment Authority. The URA, we do a lot of stuff. My particular role and my team's particular role is in the advancement of the creation of new businesses and the expansion of businesses here in the City of Pittsburgh. Before I forget, the Codefest people, you should talk to us or somebody on my team. The idea of businesses connecting with procurement process is really quite fascinating. We work with quite literally hundreds and sometimes thousands of small businesses in the city, and I think we can be an important connection for you. Codefest is really a signature event for us. I mean, it's a unique opportunity for the URA. I mean, in a very meaningful way, and just to echo what's been said, this is a tangible connection between the app-making community and local government and nonprofits. But more than that, what's impressive to me is and again, echoing and repeating, but this is real impact. I mean, I can remember the first year we did it, we had no idea what we were going to get, and we had a cool 24-hour weekend event, and it was fantastic, and again, really pretty incredible what the folks came up with in 24 hours. But the immediate question after that event is like, well, what do we do now? And that was an interesting gap in the whole process. And I come here today and to witness what the teams last year have created, and the fact that these are rolling out, and then to see what the teams for this weekend's event have created, and the opportunities to carry those forward is impressive. And it's not just impressive because it's cool and it's neat technology, but these have the opportunity to have real impact in our community, and I think that's very exciting. So there are lots of folks to thank, so I'm going to do that. On behalf of the URA and Power Pittsburgh, we need to acknowledge several folks who have made this event possible. So first, I want to thank all the sponsors. So BNY Mellon, the Forbes Funds, Google, NetApp, Mylan, PNC Bank, the Sprout Funds Remaking Learning Initiative, Bakery Square, Branding Brands, ShowClicks, Innovation Works, Jones Day, and UPMC's Technology Development Center have all generously offered their support and provided support for this event. So I want to thank all of those sponsors individually and all of you as well for their support. There's a number of partners. I mean, I've been able to. I'll get to this in a second. Jennifer does an amazing job. When I first started this, it's an amazing number of people have to volunteer their time from a variety of organizations to make this happen, and it's a year-long planning process, and it's quite complicated and it's amazing. So. I thank these folks for their help. A number of organizations volunteer their team's time to help make this happen. The City of Pittsburgh is a key partner to this. The University of Pittsburgh's Center for Social and Urban Research, Maya Design, Hack Pittsburgh, American Eagle Outfitters, and Pittsburgh Code and Supply have all volunteered their team to this effort. And what's interesting about this too is when it first started, what I've noticed is that the first year you had the core team, and then it grows each year that whoever, so American Eagle, as an example, was the host venue last year. Their team continues to provide support to this, and that's remarkable to itself. And of course, thank the Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh for this venue. It's no small thing to have this venue. It's no small thing to have the robust backing of the library to support this event. So I want to thank the Carnegie Library as well. And this is probably most important, but I want to thank my team. So Darren Ellerby, and you're seeing my notes up there. Darren Ellerby, and how could I forget? Because what else was up there? And I'm the Director of Innovation and Technology.
And I don't have a smartphone. I should have that on my iPad or whatever.
So the URA's team has been instrumental from the beginning in helping to make this happen. And I want to thank Dan Ellerby and Jennifer Wilhelm, particularly, who on my team, who have worked hard on this. And I want to just call out in particular, in my world, economic development, we kind of go through these things. We do a but-for analysis. So I do a lot of, we're involved in a lot of deals. So economic development deals, and the calculus is that, but for the interjection of public monies or public effort, these economic development projects cannot happen.
I would say in this particular event, there's one particular but-for that is absolutely necessary, and Jennifer Wilhelm is that person. I mean, she's really the engine behind this event from day one. She took this on. I can recall, about 4 years ago, we were called into a meeting to say, okay, we need to have this. You're going to have this Code Fest in the city of Pittsburgh, and I had no idea what that would be, what that would look like, or how we were going to do it. And Jennifer to step in for my team and to take this on and really to run with it in a remarkable way, and not just have the event, but to watch it grow, to watch our partners grow, to raise money. I mean, I can say that from the URA's point of view, we raise money to carry this out. We're not, other than staff time, which is significant. This is an event that supports itself. So I just want to personally thank Jennifer, and you really did a fantastic job. So. Do I no longer have to stall? I do. Okay. And I was going to say all of those things. I was not stalling. So I've been at the URA for about 11 years, and I've had the opportunity to work with a wide variety of folks at local government, state government, federal government, a number of professionals, all fantastic people. As you know, we're just kind of coming out of a year where we've had a new mayor, Mayor Peduto, here in the city of Pittsburgh, and at my level, I work with the team over over what we call Grant Street on the other, on Grant Street that the mayor's put together. I have to say, it's an exciting time for the city. I work with the mayor's team all the time. And this past year, I've had the opportunity to work with the Mayor Peduto's team and his a great staff over there. And it's an impressive group of folks who are really working tirelessly. They're putting an amazing amount of effort into making this city a great place, the best place it possibly can be. And the thinking and the professionalism that's come to the mayor's office and to the city is impressive, and I just want to say that. So with that, we have one of those impressive folks here to make the awards, and I want to introduce Chief Deborah Lamb, who's the Chief Innovation and Performance Officer for the city of Pittsburgh. Ms. Lamb, in her role, oversees all the technology, sustainability, performance, and innovation functions of city government. So she's going to give out the awards, so I want to introduce Chief Lamb, so welcome. Okay, thank you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you. I'm sure you don't want to hear me talk too much, and I won't. And I'm just here to announce the winners. So that's basically it. I think these are the VIPs. There's really not much to say. I just like to send my regards on behalf of Mayor William Peduto. He couldn't be here today, but he very much supports your work and very much is a very strong supporter of all of this. Sorry. So without further ado, I'm going to announce the winners. Is there a drum roll? Thanks, Jen. So thank you for all of you spending the weekend here. These are all amazing projects, and I think there's going to be a lot more coming out of this. So the winners from our distinguished panel of judges, we actually have 2 winners. Yes, 2 winners. So Team 15 and Team 14. So each team person gets $200. Cash. Yes, cash. We are giving cash away.
Thank you.
All right. And then this is the People's Choice Award, which is this. Everyone. It's a very exciting trophy. And
And this is basically based on you guys voted on which one is the best. All right, there's only one winner this time. All right, Team 14. All right, thank you so much. Round of applause for everyone. Again, special thanks to all the blue shirts. Special thanks to Jen, Toby, Mike, and special thanks to our city cable team. So if you guys miss it or want to view it again, it will be on the YouTube channel of the City of Pittsburgh and on the City of Pittsburgh cable channel. So you'll be on TV.